But yeah.
I remember you telling me. I just missed out on it.
Oh, I got all sorts of cool stickers, like a
Yeah,
Dr. Doom
I
one
ended
and
up getting
stuff.
the stickers. I remember that
Yep.
actually.
I
There
still
was the
have mine.
Thanos one. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
The Dr. Doom one.
No, yeah. I stuck one of the Thanos ones on my ammo box at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta find somewhere. I want to be able to put them in here on something, but
Yeah.
make it not look dumb, if you will.
What have you started watching anything? Daredevil? I remember you were starting to watch that.
Dude, no. Nope. I have
Man.
not. I have not hardly watched anything whatsoever.
Yeah.
I've not had the time.
Well, I only ask because my brother's been watching. He's been watching some of the shows while I'm cooking dinner or something. He's been watching them again for some reason.
Yeah.
And I think this is like probably his seventh time watching them. But yeah,
I need to.
you gotta watch them.
I have
You
to.
have to.
I
You
have
have
to.
to. Especially, did you? I know I sent you some of the pictures of the
On
leaked
scene.
on
Yeah.
scene.
Yes,
On
with
the streets
Froggy and everything like that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the recent ones for the new show.
Yeah.
Dude, you
He's
gotta watch. You gotta
gonna have
watch.
cancer, isn't he?
I don't know. Maybe. If they follow that
Comic book accuracy.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. But dude, you gotta watch it because it looks like they're continuing from the last seasons.
I'm
The
gonna
last
have
show.
to. I'm gonna have to.
You have to. You have
When
to.
does Born Again come out? It is wrapped
So
up filming.
I guess
correct?
they wrapped up filming for the first half of the first season,
Okay.
which is like I think 8 episodes, and then I think probably the Spider-Man movie will come out, and then they'll finish the season. I don't know how they're doing that, but I guess they finished the first 8 episodes. They wrapped up.
I will say it gives me hope that they're doing it like that and staggering it, because it makes it seem like it's going to be more intricate and involve more characters and more different singular stories, and then have it kind of all come together. That'd be cool. Like you basically have Daredevil trying to figure stuff out, and then you have the Spider-Man movie come out. Maybe you have Daredevil make a cameo, and kind of happen. And then at season 2, then it's Spider-Man, Daredevil, and he's in the show.
This is why I hate April Fools, because on April 1st, Tom Holland posted that picture of the spider suit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the caption he wrote, "Born Again."
Yeah.
Dude, I hate April 1st.
Yeah, no, you just stay off of social media.
I don't know why you on record. I hate it.
I think for the past 2 or 3 years now, I think every April 1st in the morning, you always text me saying, "Remember."
Don't believe shit. Don't believe it today.
Don't believe anything you read on the internet today.
Do
exactly
not.
What you tell me every time.
Because the first thing you see when you wake up, oh, I gotta hit you. No, wait. Hold up. No. It's April 1st.
It drives me nuts, though.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. You can't.
False hope.
Don't fall for it. But is there a chance?
Okay, there is a very good chance. But here's what's irritating with that. Here's what's highly irritating, because if Tom Holland as an actor, not a producer, not a writer, not a director, nothing like that, he knows what the fans would like to see. Why does it sometimes seem like the actors are more in touch with what the fans would like to see in the movies and storylines and story arcs versus the higher ups and the suits and the executives?
100%.
Why is that? So that's it. Kind of brings April Fool's full circle, and it's irritating. I think that's why I get irritated probably with it most, is because when Tom Holland takes like a subtle joke like that, it's like,
there needs to be more fan service, but I understand that when you hear that, it doesn't. It could be negative, because the fan service right now that we're getting, although I like it with the multiverse, but the fan service now is just seeing these cameos
and trying to make up, and they're trying to right some wrongs from prior. I'm not even getting that, but they're just
the
trying to right some wrongs.
The fan service that I'm looking for are these dope ass team up movies, like this upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine. We need Spider-Man and Daredevil. We need even the Spider-Man and Wolverine thing too.
That would be odd. Honestly, Spider-Man and Deadpool. Well, I don't think Ryan Reynolds will ever have anything to do. I think this will for sure be the absolute last movie that this Deadpool variant will be involved in, just with how everything has happened
behind the scenes and everything.
I think it's going to. It's definitely, this was Ryan's way to get his third movie, get his trilogy,
and he's doing it right.
And he's doing some fans where he's doing it right, but then it also gives Feige the opportunity to help introduce X-Men and set the multiverse stuff. So it's kind of a I'll shake your hand if you shake my hand type of deal. It seems like.
Yeah, I can't wait for that movie. I don't know how it's all going to play out.
Honestly, that's really the only movie I'm looking forward to right now. Like
I think that's their only movie this year, Marvel Studios.
Is there maybe one that's not worthy that you're not thinking of?
Maybe. I wouldn't even know their schedule. That's the only MCU movie happening this year.
It's gotten to the point where stuff is just coming out, just doesn't spark my interest. So until stuff is more finalized, like when I saw July 26th, and I was like, okay,
like
Deadpool catches my attention. I'll remember it.
I appreciate them trying to do a consistent schedule of shows and movies. You know, I appreciate it, but at the same time, we've been seeing a lack of quality. A lot of quantity, no quality.
None, period. No quality at all.
I mean, they'll have an occasional one that you could tell, like Wakanda Forever is like, okay, that they made Namor badass, you know, or Namor.
Namor.
Yeah.
Neymar, sorry, it's so gonna be Neymar to me.
Yeah.
They made him badass, but yeah, it was really maybe the kind of last cool movie, and that was like the last cool aspect.
Yeah.
Of anything that they've put out as of recent is Namor.
Because everything else lately has been
subpar at best. Subpar at best.
At best, yeah. Because some of these shows are just downright awful. I mean, I hear X-Men 97 is cool, but I'm going back and rewatching the original show first before I start that.
And I've been able to do that because my daughter will relax and want to physically watch like that as a cartoon. Because my daughter runs the TV, and so she'll sit there and watch it, so I can be able to sneak and get away with watching it.
Sometimes I could get away with it. Sayla's always, my daughter's crazy.
Hey, it's funny though. I'm gonna say this: the animations. My wife put on X-Men 97 by accident in the living room the other day.
They look good.
The graphics look great. My daughter didn't want anything to do with it. And she goes, Brett, this isn't the new one, right? I said, no, this is the new one. There's Morph. I was like, so I'm far enough back to where Morph isn't, and it hasn't been introduced yet to the X-Men. So I was like, Morph. I was like, this is 97, and so she put on the original X-Men from when I was a kid. My daughter literally sat with me and watched it. Like, I don't know what it was about it. It's weird. I don't know. I found it strange.
Yeah, I was starting to rewatch it, and Morph, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. I think in the first episode, they just kill him off. In the original episode.
Morph?
In the original show. They just kill him off in like the first episode, I think. First or second episode.
I can see it. They're meeting an agenda with him. I'm not going to touch on it, but
bring it back to
bring the new show. I could see it. So if they did. Now I think I might skip ahead. I think I might skip ahead to see if they killed off Morph in it.
Dude, I seen some clips of that new X-Men 97 show. I've seen some clips.
A lot of innuendos, kind of.
I don't know if you could call that an innuendo. Like, he straight up is looking at Wolverine in the shower with a smile on his face, and he straight up tells him that he could help him reach the
hard to reach spot places, and then he brings out and he morphs a claw. Like it's okay, like I can touch it yourself type thing. Like
dude, what are they doing?
What you gonna tell me if well, no,
other than that, everybody seems to like it. So,
honestly, as long as they keep Gambit around, and as long as they don't make him into a weird Louisiana kind of guy, and they kind of keep him the same character, I'll continue to watch it.
Well, that's what
he's one of my favorite characters. And that's one of the whole reasons I like watching. Because I like watching him and his like little innuendos. When I used to love. I don't know why, but I used to find him funny, and I still do. So I absolutely love Gambit in that show. So if they change him, I probably won't.
I wonder if this show is going to inspire a return of the old Spider-Man show. Spider-Man, I think they're saying 98. Spider-Man 98. Spider-Man.
Yes, but that's
the one.
That's the Spider-Man logo from that show from '98. Yes, 100%. That's when. So when I had my wife make this black suited Spider-Man shirt for me, I wanted a big logo in the back, like out the Spider-Man. But then I was like, you know what? I was like, I want the Amazing Spider-Man, but I want Spider-Man just like from the cartoon when I was a kid. So literally, she found the fonts, busted it out, dude, and made it so cool. I absolutely, this is one of my all-time favorite shirts.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes,
that's awesome.
But if they bring back that cartoon,
I started rewatching that one too. That one's still top notch.
Yeah. I rewatched that when they first brought out like Disney Plus, and they had like, and they introduced a bunch of like Marvel and all that stuff on there because they had all the kind of the older stuff at that point with Spider-Man, and I watched it. Honestly, was 6-7 months old, and so she'd be taking a nap. I would end up watching it, but at that point I'm falling asleep. I'm sleep deprived still at that point, so I'd watch it and just it goes off.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Not meaningful watching at that point, but I went through and I rewatched like I want to say that show, first 3 seasons.
That show gets crazy quick. I didn't realize I was rewatching it. Like
Venom gets introduced very quickly in the show.
Venom, second season, the mutant stuff where he turns into a giant spider. Like, man, this show gets crazy with the arms, quick.
They tell a bunch of different random comic book stories in that show. It is
awesome.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Dude.
Fantastic.
Cartoons these days, man. They need to I like that old look of the 90s cartoons.
Where it's more sketched out looking.
Or even early 2000s cartoons. Like, I like that look better than what we got today.
Everything's animated now today. It's more simplistic and faster for them to put out, and it's a little bit cheaper for them to put out because it's on a computer.
I bet. So
I see why they go that way, but you're going to tell me that computer cannot accommodate that certain style of a look from 1998.
I mean, 100%. X-Men 97, they did a decent job at.
Oh yeah, but it's beefed up. It's definitely on stairs. I enjoyed like that 4 minutes of watching it that I did for a brief second because it was a lot more clear. It was a lot better looking and just higher quality. So I look forward to being able to watch it.
A new Spider-Man cartoon like that would be sweet.
That'd be absolutely epic.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Did you get a chance to read Ultimate Spider-Man? What is it? 3?
Yes, 3. 100%, dude. I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch that last podcast. But when we were talking about Green Goblin, I think we like spoke on like, hey, who's all gonna be in this?
Yeah,
and we got two fairly big players.
You said it. Are we gonna see like some sort of team up or?
Yes, with Harry and Green, like Green Goblin and stuff like that. Since they don't even know each other and they get along so well, what if Harry is Green Goblin and it's not his dad?
Dude, okay. So first. Since I refreshed my memory, I reread it, and the comic starts off.
He's changing suits. Sorry,
when he's changing suits with his daughter.
His daughter, because where it left off into his daughter busted him coming home as Spider-Man, drinking milk or whatever it was. Yeah, so she knows. So and it's carried into where obviously you see Mary Jane and I forgot their son's name, but they're leaving. And they're like kind of going out the door in the picture, and they're like talking to Peter and May, May Jr. or whatever you call her, the daughter. They're leaving, and then
I think
at
the
that
son's
point,
probably Ben.
Ben, so Ben and May, Ben Jr., May Jr.
Right in the beginning, you see the suit changes.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. You see the classic
little cameos. That is fan awesome. Service.
Oh, 100%.
100%. You got like that look of an Iron Spider. You get that blue and Fantastic Four. You get the.
You kind of got the Venom look too.
Yeah, you know what you got right there was the Spider-Man 3 Tobey Maguire looking suit.
Yeah,
with just the way it looked, it almost
kind of did with the webbing.
Yes, with the protruding web and stuff. So
that was awesome.
That's why I said I feel like it's a lot of fans.
I got a chuckle out of that stuff.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
And you knew that they were going to land original red and blue. There wasn't going to be a doubt in my mind because there's so much that's already changed on this storyline. I could see the writers and illustrators wanting to make it a familiar looking type of Spider-Man because Peter already has a beard and stuff. When you have the suit fight and all that, you're going to want to be able to see Spider-Man red and blue.
Spider-Man. And I like the added little touch to this story, having his daughter pick out
the suit. Yes.
Yeah.
And dude, it's quite funny because we literally discussed it because the minute that we got done reading this, because we don't. Let's be clear, people. When we read this comic, if one of us is able to read it before the other, we don't discuss it.
Yeah.
So once we finally have both had a chance to read it, I get it digitally, and so we went through Reddit and did all that, and we got to talking, and then I noticed that you had changed the logo to our YouTube page with Peter and her swinging. And I was like, dude, that is so awesome. Perfect, dude. That is.
It reminded me of the both of us with the daddy daughter thing.
100%. That's what I'm saying. That couldn't be more epic. Awesome. So with that comic opening up and then just seeing that swinging thing, it was cool, dude.
When I seen that full page of them just swinging like that, that's an awesome shot.
It's epic. But it's a cool shot, and it's cool to see because we have daughters on. But it makes me worry later on in the comic because if she knows, everybody who ends up knowing that Peter is Spider-Man, something happened. It's a danger. Yes, exactly. And someone's gonna get hurt, and she's a little girl. Yeah. So who is going to use her? Is Kingpin going to?
I was just gonna say because right after we see them swing away, we get to the new business that
office, the
Uncle
new office,
Ben, and
Joe Jameson. Wow, it didn't. That's I can never do it.
Yeah,
they did their new office at their buying. Peter's coming in,
and it's a dump. Yeah,
terrible. And Peter's bringing in a bonsai tree and basically rubbing it in their faces, going, "Ha, look at this! This is like the best thing. It can really spruce up your room."
And they have that whole map panned out showing all Kingpin's
areas where the guy in green.
Fisk. Yeah.
The guy in green has been hitting, so that gave Peter, because he's just a photographer, he's not the investigative journalist going out and chasing type of stuff like the two of them are right now.
Yeah.
So he's able to walk in there, and even though he still kind of submits pictures to the Bugle and stuff like that, they're still going to let him in and allow him to see that. So him seeing that, at that point, he was then able to go do a stakeout and go wait for days on end. I think at one point it was raining, then he was eating, he's talking to himself, and it was nice because it was like
a few
classic
days.
And it was like a classic comical banter from Spider-Man, what we'd see in prior comics, where it's not just an illustration of him kicked back in his webbing or something, and then another picture of him eating, or it was him. It's almost like him talking to you, breaking that fifth wall, if you will. But it's that classic Spider-Man. I really enjoyed it.
It was cool. It was awesome. It was awesome to see. When he's waiting for a few days, and then as soon as he's about to leave, that's when he sees
Bullseye.
A fight between Bullseye and Green Goblin.
Yep,
dude, that was a pretty cool.
It's cool. Fight. It's awkward to see. You're seeing a vigilante of Green Goblin.
I know.
And hold on, first illustration, you don't even see who really it is. You see a black and you kind of see subtle white stripes, I think, and it's Bullseye doing a flip of some sort. So you don't get to see his face, the true.
The way he's kind of diving.
You don't get to see any of the identifying markings on him to know that it's him. But then you see this bomb, and it has the Goblin logo on it. And at that point, I was like, "This is gonna be cool." At that point, I was like, "This is gonna be cool."
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, I was like, "I feel like I called it."
But Bullseye was whooping the Green Goblin's ass at first, throwing those cards at him.
Oh, Bullseye was very
stuck a card in his grenade, and it blew
formidable. But it also goes to show that even at this point, Peter has some more tactical skills being able to help Green Goblin like that. Yeah. But it also shows how new Green Goblin is, because he's not much further ahead of Peter at doing this, because he's been doing this for a little bit now because of all those markings on the map and everything. And at the point after they did stop him, he's like, "So what do we do? Call the police?" Peter's never dealt, he's never captured a bad guy yet, nothing. So it goes to show how new and how green of a Spider-Man we are going to get.
Right. And same thing with Green Goblin, like you said, because Bullseye said there was a trap right in front of you. I could tell you're new at this, pretty much. Yeah.
And Bullseye, as far as we know, so I know we didn't have heroes because of the Watcher. Yeah. In the way that this Earth, I don't even know the exact number. It's so hard to keep up with Marvel's. Earth 313, 616.
I don't know what this one would be. But,
I don't know. I don't know it either. But on this one, though,
nor do I care.
Yeah, exactly. The Watcher doing all that. I don't know how long Bullseye's even been around, but it seems like he's skilled. Yeah, he's seasoned. Even though he got caught,
whatever,
they're always going to get caught.
I forget what it was. The Watcher, some being that prevented heroes from rising. He allowed the villains to rise instead.
Exactly,
because we already seen the Shocker. How long has he
been doing around? Kingpin, all that stuff? So yeah, and they're all seasoned, very seasoned at it. And so Green Goblin, it makes me wonder what happened also in Harry's father's past, because if they kind of keep it comic book accurate, and
with Harry's father, the scientist who came up with all this stuff, and
exactly. I want to know where Harry gets his tech from, all this stuff, and it was funny for. I feel like this was such tactical. I think you take it both ways. But when he connected his suit to Spider-Man's suit, to see his face,
he unmasked him.
And I thought to myself at first, like I was like, oh crap, like is this gonna because you don't really know at this point. Like Spider-Man just helped, kind of.
Yeah.
They're and they kind of had a little bit of banter, and it's kind of been friendly. It wasn't like any type of hostility between the two.
No.
It kind of seemed like Spider-Man jumped in to help him, and he noticed it.
Yeah.
But when he unmasked him, I was like, oh, this is great. Like first thing right off the bat.
First thing.
And then you see that it's Harry, but we've never heard of Harry's name yet at all in any of. So at this point, I didn't know if they were even friends. And obviously in this universe, they've never been friends because they had a formal introducing. But it makes me wonder, can Harry still go somewhat in revert and be a villain? Is he going to stay a vigilante and help Spider-Man? And how screwed is it going to be Green Goblin that delivers May Jr. to Kingpin?
Yeah, is there
this big battle and power grab's going to occur?
Is there that G serum? You know what I mean? That Goblin
serum, exactly. Like what's going to happen? That's why I say his dad plays a pivotal part. What happened? Like, is his dad a mad scientist at this point? Like, who knows? He could be doing his dad's dirty work, trying to bust down Fisk's areas, trying to find stuff to complete like a Goblin serum of some sort.
That's the thing about Fisk and with this universe, because we know Kingpin, he is
ruthless aggression.
Trifled with, man.
Ruthless aggression. I think that's a perfect, the perfect ruthless aggression.
And as old as Peter is, you could tell he's still very naive and simple to the dark underworld of.
He doesn't understand it
of the Kingpin and
his
is the Hand going to be in this universe? There's a lot of things. Where's the Punisher?
The police, also Daredevil, all that stuff. We don't know yet. We haven't seen any of them come up, but obviously, I mean,
Murdoch's an old priest.
So then it begs me the question to ask. Then, did Tony Stark kind of go around to a lot of people with the hologram and do what he did and kind of lay these seeds to get all these heroes? Is this how we're going to be introduced? But it makes me wonder, how did Green Goblin come about? Because I don't feel like that. It showed the tech was adaptable together with the suit for Spider-Man and Green Goblin, but I feel like any Osborn tech and Stark tech, is we never really truly had that in the same MCU, of course, and I've never really seen Stark tech.
We never had anything.
Stark tech and Osborn tech ever link up, so it makes me wonder: did Tony drop that stuff off to Harry?
That's actually interesting.
Or did the suit come from Dirty Money? And was it basically coming out of like a villain type thing? Because
you never know.
Bullseye and all of them. That's what I'm saying. Like,
because
when did this start for Harry?
Yeah, exactly.
My biggest question. It's the biggest thing I take away from all of this entire, the entire book so far is, how did Harry get where he's at?
I think in book 1, it was Harry that gave the speech because his dad or I think his mom, one of the two, was killed in that attack. They had a terrorist attack, and that's when May died, I believe.
Yep.
It's an interesting universe.
Yeah, was it Harry that was giving it? Yes, it was.
So.
I feel like it was.
I think it was Harry.
It introduced him, but at this point,
they didn't know each other.
And it showed that I think Peter was there. If I remember, I'd have to go back because this has been a couple months ago that I read it, but I feel like it showed Peter at that ceremony. And so at that point, I think you kind of found out May died, and shortly after that, you found out Ben was friends with Jameson, and then you saw. Obviously Ben being like Peter talking.
There's a lot
that's Jameson not really talking too down to Peter,
yeah,
like how he used to. It's a little different dynamic between those two.
It's hard to remember sometimes because these are monthly comics. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And not to mention, not only do we read this,
we also read Spectacular Spider-Man #1.
Exactly, the Spectacular Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
You got the Miles and you got Peter. Dude, it's pretty cool. Especially a fresh take. I'm not too keen with Miles Morales in that era of comic books when they decided to have a African American Spider-Man. Obviously, I'll watch movie stuff. I don't know I don't want to say rich history, but I don't know its young history probably quite as well. I played the video game. I played the PS5 video game, stuff like that.
I'm fine with it.
I honestly, I think Miles is a savage. I think Miles is bad.
So I like him in the game.
I like him in the game. I like playing with the Spider-Man more, like the Peter Parker more in the game. But dude, the fact that you add all these little things to Miles and like you kind of beef up Spider-Man, and he's so young and so naive, and you make Peter. It's a cool aspect. I think it's perfect. I think that was almost Marvel's answer at a certain point in time, decades later, to Batman and Robin.
Yeah, it kind of is. They are doing like a Batman and Robin thing with Spider-Man and Miles.
That was Marvel answering back decades later, and that's Batman and Robin's awesome. Batman and Robin. And I'm not even the biggest DC fan, but you see all of the different Robins that Bruce Wayne and that dark DC comic like that history. I feel like Marvel saw that, and I feel at a certain point, Stan Lee's like, we're not going to do little helpers like that. We'll do Young Avengers, little things like this, later on. But I feel like he took like the sidekick idea and really changed the game with it, because at that point, you kind of take somebody who has like-minded skills as the other, but you make them their own hero.
Yeah.
And was there really... They had to take Robin away from Bruce Wayne and Batman and also to make him Nightwing and do all of that. But like you make Miles his own person while being an understudy almost.
Yeah.
And it shows a really cool thing, and that helps society to like, hey, help guide people. Like there's kind of a different underlying message. So like if a younger person's reading that, like helping somebody out. And they just like in the beginning of that comic when we were reading it, the Spectacular Spider-Man #1, they were talking... we're going to go out for coffee and do this stuff. And it kind of starts like that. Like, oh, I thought it was just going to be a normal day. Like, they were just trying to be, like, basic friends at that point, because Miles still hasn't, chosen where he wants to go to school at yet.
He's still a young teenager.
He's still in high school.
Yeah.
Peter can't keep a job at this point, it seems like. Like, by the sounds of it.
It's a younger Peter. We're dealing with, like, it's not early 20s Peter, or maybe mid-20s Peter.
Mid-20s, still kind of, it probably got done dealing with Doc Ock.
Straight out of college, fresh out.
Exactly. Doc Ock, I would imagine.
So it's kind of the same thing with the way the Spider-Man games are. They're definitely ripping it.
Oh, 100%. For sure. They're winging it at this point. Peter kind of bestowing his little bit of knowledge that he has upon him. And exactly. Like, I need you and you need me.
And Peter still has that he's super young vibe with his quips. And Miles is like, dude, you're like such a kid. You know what I mean? You're a child. Dude, if you got a high schooler telling, a young 20-year-old that, it's like you could tell that Peter is not this.
No, but you can't. Do not mistake Miles for some type of,
no,
for some type of vagrant or some type of idiot. Not. You know what I mean? Like he ain't no bum. I can tell you, he's smart. Yeah. He's very smart, because a lot of the stuff in the tech and gear he uses, I would imagine, has got to be a little bit more advanced. And Peter takes him and learns off him, because at the end of the day, they're both basically scientists, and in the community of scientists, they have when they write a paper, you have other scientists sign off on your work, and they learn from each other, and they study, and they take from one person to another, and they all make each other's work that much better. And so I think the fact that they're both scientifically based, like making their web shooters, gadgets, stuff like
that's pretty cool. Yeah,
it's a cool dynamic. So Peter can learn from him. And he can take his electric energy and stuff like that.
I'm sure that's learn electric shock going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. And you have this different aspect of where it's just not just two heroes kicking some scumbag's butt. There's always more deeper meaning to comics that I think people really do realize. That I think that I inceptionally, like I consume it and then I think about it like a couple of different ways.
I like that part where they're kind of bouncing off each other. So what are we going to call each other? We can't call each other Spider-Man. Are we gonna get confused?
Spider-Man 1, 2, like you can't call me Miles, like
and then he's like, well, how about you're the Spider-Man of Brooklyn? I'll call you Brooklyn, and I'll
Queens, or whatever.
Or I'll call you Mr. Manhattan or something. I'm like, well, I'm not really from Manhattan. I'm from, or I work in. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what. Yeah, they were going back and forth, and then Miles, because I read it the other day again, and Miles brings up having Spider-Woman or Silk team up
there's
with
the
him.
multiverse.
So there you go. There's other Spider people in this universe.
So we can potentially see Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
We could really have a true multiversal Spider-Man team up between the two of them. That would be really cool.
There's multiple Spider-Man in this universe already established.
It'd be all pure fan service, because I feel like what they're doing right now is fan service with that.
I like it. I like it. Do I like it more than Ultimate? No. I really like Ultimate so far. Ultimate is awesome so far.
Because I have 1,000 questions, that's why.
But Spectacular Spider-Man, it's fun so far.
It's fun. It reminds me of the video games. It's fun. Yeah. Especially because that's... Honestly, if I were to say one of my favorite video games of all time, it's gonna be Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1, Miles Morales, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I love those. So to see something kind of similar to the storyline, it's refreshing. It's like I'm used to it, and then I can kind of guess where it might go from here. Yeah, but I feel like they're going to take it.
It's fun. It's funny at times. When they're at the coffee shop for weeks on end, and he's trying to be a regular. So that
and the guy was like, trying to get his name down with his order and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Big Asia. I feel like he's what was his name in there? He's an owner.
I forget what they called him.
They called them their names for something, and I almost wanted to look them up, but I feel like they called those names, and they kind of had this scene out for a reason, but I can't think of anything Spider-Man in a coffee shop related, because only comic book wise, when I think of coffee shop related wise, is like Barry, the Flash, and going to the coffee shop where he went in that universe, and that totally different comic. But I was trying to think, like, why are they making such like a point to show this couple?
I know, right?
This dude and this woman, and like the names, and like
I'm not sure.
Where they hug, like they show them hugging and stuff. Like, it was kind of awkward and weird, and I want to know where they're gonna go, because I'm not too familiar with the Miles and Peter storyline. I don't know how long it's been around. Like, and a lot of Miles villains and stuff. I know Prowler. I know little things like.
I'm sure we'll see all that,
but I'm not as familiar with Miles's nuances,
right?
As like I am say Peter's. Like when you think about like Vermint or whatever his name was from the guy on your shirt right there from that series right there. You know, Kraven's Last Kill, Kraven's Last Hunt, having that like the Vermint and all that stuff. There's little nuances you'll pick up and see like different little villains. So I don't know any of Miles' stuff, so I don't know if those people end up being.
I haven't went and read Miles comics yet either. I am going back and reading through the Ultimate Spider-Man comics just when I get a chance. But I guess the original Miles Morales is from the Ultimate Universe, and the reason why he took mantle of Spider-Man is because the Peter Parker of the original Ultimate Spider-Man universe died. I think I haven't got there yet, but I believe Green Goblin kills him. And then
there's Green Goblin or Hobgoblin, or is Hobgoblin Miles?
Green Goblin, because in the Ultimate Universe, Norman Osborn is a monster Hulk Green Goblin.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, and he goes around, and then he gets what's his name? They go down in the dungeon, and they do all like in the cartoon, at least.
In the cartoon.
Venom. That's where you see like CIA agent Venom and stuff. Harry, right? Harry ends up having Venom in that.
Yeah, the cartoon's a lot different than the actual comic.
Okay, so I'm not near as familiar as that.
Because the comic, man, it's good. I haven't read all of it so far, but it's good. And Peter dies in the original Ultimate Universe, and there's no Spider-Man for some period of time, and then all of a sudden Miles takes up the mantle. And I guess in the Secret Wars Part 2 comics that happened, I don't know, about a decade or so ago, an incursion happened. So that's where we're kind of getting that. That's how we get that incursion
in the MCU. Okay, so it kind of makes sense.
So that's how Miles got sucked into the current mainline comic universe.
So we're getting Miles.
The old Ultimate universe died. It's no more. This is
that incursion happened. People got sucked in.
Yeah.
So basically, some type of heroes were able to save their world, but that had to sacrifice that other world. Yeah. But they were able. Some people got sucked in.
So we're seeing that in the MCU. Okay. So in the MCU, we're going to get a combination of the original Secret Wars and the new Secret Wars with the incursions. You see that?
It pisses me off so bad.
You see that? And now what we're reading in the comics is the new established Volume 2 Ultimate Universe. Yeah, this is a new thing.
Yeah. It's a reboot of that universe.
Yeah.
They're going to kind of tell similar stories.
Yeah.
But so are you ever bummed when you think about when they ran through like the first 3 phases, in-game ends, everything, Iron Man's dead. You think about all of certain storylines that you just don't get to see, and I feel that's a what-if game and a woulda, shoulda, coulda game that I always go in my head, and I will always wish that they did.
I know.
The way that I'm glad it's cool the way the MCU worked out, stuff like that, but not being able to see a Reed Richards and a Tony Stark team up, that's so disappointing. Not being able to see them be the ones to boot Hulk out, gone, and not to see the Civil War and be able to see like a true
true Civil War. Yeah.
Yes, and you go Reed Richards out of everybody goes underground, and you get Tony Stark being the one.
That'd be awesome.
Getting Spider-Man to unmask himself. The original way people found out Spider-Man.
With Daredevil involved.
Not MCU. Peter Man getting exposed.
Yes, Punisher being involved.
That's what I'm saying. Like you really do miss out when they did that. There's so many great stories that don't get told, and so. At a certain point, do I look forward to the MCU Secret Wars? Yeah. I can't have a certain expectation or hope for it.
I know. Especially right now with the current state of the MCU, it's hard.
No, I can't have it. And it's not even that. It's just they don't have the people to do it like original and do the fan service.
No.
Kind of a cool comic book accurate. Because I'm sorry, when you see a comic book accurate, and you say you read that comic book series, say it's a book, a little novel run, and say it's like a 15-issue run, and they make a movie out of it, you only see little stills that this artist has illustrated with little bubbles. So there's certain context, and you get to kind of have it and read it and see exactly and kind of interpret it your way, but collectively as a whole, everybody kind of sees it the one way. You're not ever going to see that. We'll never.
No.
And we'll never see the fan service of a true Secret Wars and be able to see an Iron Man and see all that and see this true Tom Holland get the black suit that way.
I know, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I wonder.
They were so close. They could have done it. They were so close. If Endgame and all that didn't have to happen yet. And they could have found a way to introduce Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Little people, they were missing not a lot to really do Secret Wars. Was there a couple of people that could have had a couple, not even quite a trilogy, but maybe one or two movies have a sequel, an original movie, and you could have introduced a couple characters, had those characters come over for it. And it's hard to not be able to read that comic and go watch it, because I can read the original and I can read the Secret Wars Part 2. But I'm always going to be partial to the Secret Wars 1. And when I go watch the movie, I'm like, why?
It's a combination of the two all mixed and jumbled together.
It's mixed. And I'm like, why couldn't I just got the first one? Or if you guys are going to mix, don't mix it. If you guys are going to do it, do a comic book accurate second one.
Exactly. So
that's what I think bothers me. And so when I see like these new movies coming out and it has these real retro themes and stuff, and kind of that story, that retro story, and knowing that they've done so much,
they kind of ruin it by modernizing it.
There you go.
Yeah,
by taking those newer comic books
and just meshing them together. Yeah,
with retro stories.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They do have a chance to right their wrong, but we probably won't see it for another decade, because the way they're probably going to do it, this is speculation and some other probably leaks that I heard, but with the whole incursion thing, they're going to pull these characters that maybe died in this universe. They're going to pull them into this universe.
You're thinking that some type of Iron Man?
Think about with Iron Man. So I heard this leak, and honestly, I could see this happening.
Dude.
They bring back RDJ from another universe.
He's already said on Rogan's podcast, like, yeah.
They bring him back, but it's not the same. So he's the same character, just from a different universe. He's not the actual RDJ that died. They're not going to resurrect him.
Yeah.
It's him, really him, from another, like a
parallel
parallel universe. They have a very similar, maybe even the same story arc.
Okay.
But in his universe, Peter died. And they're both at the same point in their lives, and they finally meet up again. And we see that moment together. I heard that leak, and I'm like, they're going to do that. They're going to do that because they're pushing Spider-Man at an angle while they still can, while Feige can still get away with it, while Disney still has hold of Spider-Man with Sony. They still have their relationship. They're making Spider-Man the savior of the MCU. He is the hero of the MCU. The MCU cannot survive without Spider-Man. They're going to give him that touching moment.
He's been the only thing since Iron Man truly died. Think about it. He's been the only thing since Iron Man died.
Yeah.
I don't care.
They're going to give him that moment. And that's going to be Avengers, what would it be, 6? We're going to get Avengers 5. We're going to get, and that's going to be that moment that we get.
That sucks. So we're going to get a quick glimpse, a quick fan service moment.
Yeah.
And not get to get anything out of it
in
prior
RDJ
movies.
Will most likely not be our Iron Man, though.
No. I think he'll make a glimpse for a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be
Another Iron Man from a different universe will get pulled into ours with the incursion. But somehow with the multiverse and how everything goes wonky, they're going to have that moment together. I heard that league. Yeah, they have to do that. They have to. They have to, because that was
the subtle moments in the Spider-Man movies where he's missing him and he's looking up, he's overseas at another country, and Iron Man murals graffiti right there, and he's bawling, he's crying, he's upset, he's missing him all over New York. They got to have some type of moment like that, and it's kind of like I'm sorry, and I hate to put it like this way, but you get old athletes, you get the Hall of Fame presentations and all that stuff. I feel like this is
That's what that is.
This is RDJ's Hall of Fame moment for the MCU.
Hall of Fame induction
to it, because you're not going to be here after this. But 100%. Hey, we're going to have you back one more time. We're going to flaunt you off.
Yeah,
we love you. We appreciate you. Here's your fan service moment,
dude.
And here comes Iron.
That will be another. I guarantee that will be $1 billion MCU Marvel movie.
Dude, they could do. Honestly, what's funny? It'd be if they could have that Iron Man have something wrong to where he can't use a suit and have him walk him through having to defeat somebody with Peter Parker like a mentor. If you got a quick show out of that,
I'm sure,
to set up in a movie. And so basically, if you were to be able to sign RDJ to that movie that contract and maybe get one movie out of it, and maybe a 5 out of 6 episode run on a Spider-Man show, and they put it on Disney Plus with the Marvel Spotlight. You know how cool that would be?
That'd be cool.
And
that'd be really cool.
And even like I said, you could probably maybe do 3 out of 6 episodes with RDJ as Iron Man, Tony Stark being a mentor to Peter.
That'd be awesome.
Before maybe he heads off on his own.
Yeah.
Knowing hey, you got this world, I'm gonna have to go find what I have to do.
Yeah. You're
on your feet here, and that's RDJ's shining moment to ride off.
That'd be really cool.
Maybe it wouldn't be facing superior Iron Man or anything like that. I wonder if they'll ever do that in the MCU. I remember we used to talk heavy when we were talking about Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Who are we going to see?
Who are we going to see? We're going to see
Superior
Toby.
Iron Man.
Superior Iron Man.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like that probably would have been the movie to have him there. And you get that moment with an RDJ as Superior, or even how it was rumored, what's his name? Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
With the open face mask. I don't like the face mask. I want my face seen.
They need to do it, though. They need to.
That would have been the perfect moment to have
Tom Cruise is the perfect Superior Iron Man.
Dude, they could have literally had Tom Cruise back as a Superior Iron Man, and on the Illuminati, maybe being kind of his personal bodyguard. If they would have had Namor with someone standing behind him. You had Charles Xavier with Wolverine standing, or Cyclops standing behind him. Then you have Reed Richards and the Thing behind him. And kind of have this quick little thing where Doctor Strange standing there. You could have literally had Terrence Howard standing behind a Superior Iron Man of Tom Cruise, and have
that would have been amazing. Speaking of Terrence Howard, that was a missed opportunity by Marvel in the Secret Wars or Secret Invasion show. When Rhodey was a Skrull, they should have had Terrence freaking Howard in that pod. Ruined. They should have brought him back.
A quick 10-second thing, dude.
It would have all made sense. It would have all made sense.
And it would have been kind of a ha-ha moment, because when you think what movie really started the MCU this timeline, Iron Man.
Terrence Howard.
And having it, dude.
Yes.
They blew it. But how cool would that have been to see
freaking
Doctor
amazing.
Strange?
I know.
Superior. So you get a Superior Iron Man, and you literally get a talented Terrence Howard,
dude. Missed opportunity. Marvel messing up.
Totally
should have brought back Terrence.
Totally could have had him whisper in Tom Cruise's ear. Because it was right around that time, because he was real big, and that would have been a breaking a fifth wall as an actor. That trick, get Doctor Strange. They could say something. It would have been funny as a writer, dude. Exactly, dude. Could you imagine that type of fan service? Is why I think I appreciate Deadpool that much more,
dude. Yeah,
that's why
Ryan Reynolds would have done it.
That's what I'm saying. And you and I always have conversations.
If Ryan Reynolds was the Kevin Feige of the MCU,
it'd be over with,
dude. Ryan Reynolds would
$1 billion deal. He wouldn't need Disney. He would end up, dude. I guarantee at a certain point, Ryan Reynolds could buy his own property. Build his own studios, at that point, because he would do so much fan service, and he would always have everybody's support, staying tried and true to the comics.
That's going back to what you were saying earlier. These special actors that are actually about the fans and what we want.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said I get mad at April Fools with Tom Holland, but that was a fan service moment. I see you as an actor. That's why I appreciate you as Spider-Man, because as a fan, you see where I come from. Like, hey, that's that mutual respect moment. Like if you hit that like button on his Twitter, that's that like, hey, I see you. Like, hey, it's respect, buddy. Like it's more than a like. It's not like, hey, you're monetized.
I like that you're even putting it out there.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
instead of not talking about it, because it's a must happen.
Yes, and it goes back to that stupid Spider-Woman movie that just came out, and that one chick, like Silverware, where she goes, I just want to make sure that I came down the right way. So basically, you saw one comic book cover woman. Saw one comic book cover of her coming down like that, and you're like, I want to make sure I do that.
I heard that movie was absolutely atrocious.
No, we've already talked about it. Dude, no, I still haven't watched it.
I've seen that clip. I still haven't watched it, but I sent that clip with the Spider Jungle people. Dude. Yeah. Dude. I guess that's actually in the show.
I showed Todd that, and Todd literally asked me, she goes, have you ever seen that from a comic book? And I said, there's a lot of like different universes and different storylines that I don't know a lot about, and I will say it, but I was like, I've never seen a jungle. I said, I know there's like that prehistoric age in the comics with dinosaurs and stuff that they did like a little thing too. So yeah, there's different little
Savage Land.
Savage Land, exactly. And they've done little things. I know little storylines like that, but when it came to that, I looked at her and said, no. And she goes, that is stupid if that's not. So even my wife was like, yeah, no. So I did it. How's the refreshing Marvel Coke?
It is pretty refreshing. I seen you were drinking yours over there.
Oh, 100%.
Had to crack it open.
Yeah, it's got, they went through and did the Marvel collab.
Yep, DD.
Yeah, I got the Daredevil. My wife picked up a case of Coke for me at Costco today when she went to the store. And the whole case, I started looking through it. I was thinking to myself, like, can I start a collection? I started looking through it. Like, am I going to see, like, because I've seen Scarlet Witch and all that other stuff, like, over there. But yeah, no.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Speaking of fan service, again, Daredevil, Spider-Man. That needs to be Spider-Man 4. It's got to be.
Has to be. So it begs to differ. If that has success, after they do Miles' next game on PS5 for Spider-Man, will, after they put out Wolverine and they do these other video games, Insomniac, do they bring out a Daredevil game?
A Daredevil game is needed.
Will Insomniac take that? And kind of so if Daredevil Born Again really kind of takes off and it really hits some popularity, and Spider-Man, a team up with them really, and it's a multi-million billion, maybe it's 100 million in sales first weekend. Maybe Insomniac notices and goes, hey guys, this should be pretty easy to still have the streets of New York, same kind of plan like what we've talked about with Spider-Man. You could do with Venom and do that. I mean, make little things different, storyline stuff like
that. I guess instead of getting another Miles game, it's going to be a Venom game.
Okay.
And then we're going to get the Wolverine game. And if all those leaks are to go by, unless things shuffle around after Wolverine, the games that they're going to be making, they're going to be busy for a while. So, I mean, I would love to see them do Daredevil because
a Spider-Man game, but making it kind of where they did it like with Venom, where you get to play as Daredevil.
Yeah, for a minute. I think they can nail Daredevil with the acrobatics and stuff
easily.
And you can help him. I would like a Daredevil game that's like that, but maybe not as open as Spider-Man. Maybe I would like it more grounded, a little bit more closer to the street level.
Open world.
It could be open world,
but Spider-Man, because you can fly and travel.
Yeah, it could be open world. I don't mind that, but a little bit less open, like more along the lines of those Batman Arkham City or Batman Arkham Knight, like a little bit smaller. So the streets are a little bit more packed. There's a little bit more detail in the detective work, because that's what Daredevil is. He's gonna be. He's gonna feel more like.
He's a law degree. He's
gonna feel like Batman.
Yes,
he should feel more like Batman, even though he could swing and do the acrobatics and stuff. He's not like Spider-Man.
No, he wasn't. He needs to
be in the night. We need to see the detective work in the night. We need to see the beatings to get information on Fisk. You know what I mean?
And then you got to do the due diligence during the daytime. Like, there's got to be clear differences. So like the storyline and the way that the storyline works out, your hand has got to be more forced when it's day, night. Your story, it's not, you can't have so many side missions as Spider-Man with the Daredevil game, just because him being blind in that aspect of it.
It needs to be a little bit more dark and a little bit more grounded than the Spider-Man games.
Yes.
And we need to see murder. Like, it could be rated T. We don't need a gory mess.
It could be like, but Wolverine. You think Wolverine's not going to be seen?
Wolverine's going to be a bloody mess, man.
And so you're going to tell me that they're going to do it with Daredevil?
I would love it. I'm just saying they don't need to. But
brutal beatings to get information. Get out of here. What if you introduce Punisher, who's just a vigilante, killing pedophiles,
that's true.
Killing murderers, killing robbers, and people who maybe T-boned an old lady and killed her? Like,
yeah.
You're gonna tell no.
We gotta see that.
It's gotta be
team. You know, the rain needs to be coming down. You know, in the dark alleys. You know, muggings in the dark alleys. You need to stop the mugging like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And everything having that white and black sonar type of look.
Yeah. Like you can throw the baton and it bounces off in the alley. You know,
and he comes back and catches it.
That'd be awesome.
And you can see it, like, as, like, say you're fighting somebody, you throw the baton and you go, and you can still see it bouncing around, like, seeing little things.
Yeah, and the hand-to-hand combat needs to feel a little bit closer to Batman instead of the jumping around. I mean, jumping around, jumping over their shoulder or whatever, but it needs to be more like...
It's not going to be techie. It won't be techie. It's going to be brutality. It's going to be
It's got to be more brutal, a little bit more heavy, just a little heavier, you know what I mean?
Yes.
High kicks to the face, knockouts, you know what I mean?
Dude. The game,
even though Spider-Man, it feels good, and some of the finishers are brutal. It's like, oh dang, you know, especially Spider-Man is so strong, you know, but it just needs to feel different with Daredevil.
Yes,
you know, he's whipping someone across the face with a baton. You know what I mean?
He's got to have some finishes in there, like
breaking kneecaps. Brutal. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
side kicks to the back of the knee. You know what I mean? And put him down and hit him across the face with the baton.
Oh, dude. Have it show like knockout. Teeth, like bam. Boom. Have it like show like the jaw being broke. Having like have like that brutality aspect, like Mortal Kombat, where it shows like just maybe on a finishing move. Bah, bah, bah.
Yeah, and then of course the villains in the game, they got to be Bullseye. Mm-hmm. Dude, one of those cats just.
Yep.
Man.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. But Bullseye, Fist, you can even throw Punisher in the game.
Yes.
What about Luke Cage and Iron Fist? Just have them, hey, you
want to Jones?
Up? Why not? Hey, got a lead on this, whatever. You know what I mean?
You have Foggy, you have all that. You have their
You can do the personal life.
Yes.
Even though I feel like a game like that, the Daredevil stuff should be kept in the night, and then when it's during the day, you could do a little bit of the lawyer stuff.
But I feel like you got to tie it so it can't. So I got to. The lawyer aspect in a game like that, it has to be information based. It has to be easy to where you consume information to where you're learning about what you're doing at nighttime.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be your information consumption to make sense of and how to start creating these like thoughts in your mind. Like, oh, is it this happening? Is it that? Like, and like you start. There's a lot of cool ways you could do it.
Building clues, building a case in a way.
Exactly.
Because you're going to catch them out on the street and put them on trial.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, some cool stuff I feel like the gameplay could be like, remember from the first Spider-Man game with the lab stuff, the gameplay with that, how it's taking a break from the open world, but you know, it's
more information consumption.
Yeah,
like
you start learning
about you start understanding Spider-Man that you are now helping Doc Ock.
Yeah. And you gain more skill points that way. But with the Daredevil game, it's you're solving a crime. You're gaining information in a different way. While you're gaining information at night with brutal tactics, you're getting information during the day with a more sophisticated,
upscale, maybe not as upscale, but
because you still have other clients,
respectable way,
and you still have other clients, and maybe one client that you're taking on. Somehow that crime links to what's
going on over here, and
so
maybe
it's like
drugs, and now drugs. Then you learn that Wilson Fisk is pushing drugs. Yes,
it could be a cross between a brutal action and crime detective game.
See, this is honestly, we used to do this stuff when we worked together at Western Windows. Think about that. We used to have these conversations. We used to talk about the Spider-Man movies. They should do this. They should do that. We could sit here. I wish sometimes I could be like, you know what? I want to be able to go to school and learn how to design a video game. You know how cool that would be. Like those people,
or at least be like up there to be like an advisor, a screenwriter, producer, or whatever.
How do you
would call those
places,
things?
Though?
I know.
I feel like I'm sorry, and maybe it's just me being biased and just like bouncing ideas off each other. Like I wish that would be like a dream job for you and I to be able to work at like maybe say in somewhere like that. and just be able to bounce ideas.
Not really be involved in like the actual building, but
exactly.
We're writing
writing the storyline, so it'd be fun.
And how we envision the game to be.
Yes.
A visionary.
Yes, a visionary of the game. Yes. That would be so. That would be epic. And like, hey, we're gonna pay $10K on royalties.
Yeah.
$10K. Okay, I'll take $10K. That's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Then I could go out and
Hit us up.
I'd be able to brag.
Don't forget about us.
Check it out.
We'll gladly take 10 G's. We don't need to be millionaires, even though I'd love to be.
I'd rather be a millionaire, but I'm just saying to be able to say, I helped create that game.
Yeah,
that was my idea. I could be that old guy at a pub that Sonya's talking about. Back in the day, I helped design that game.
Yeah. But that would be dope. That's a great idea. Another game that we're missing out on.
It's a legacy.
Daredevil. Also, okay, we're getting a Wolverine game. We need a Hulk game. Just smashing, through.
Yeah.
The Hulk game that I have on the PS2, dude, must play. I gotta let you borrow it, man. It's a must play.
I have my PS2 over there.
Awesome. I still haven't went back and beat it, but
okay. So here's my ideal Hulk game at that point, storyline wise. So, say you're starting off with Bruce Banner and you get introduced into the Gamma, but you don't. Obviously, you're smashing the hell out of stuff in buildings, and you're just creating chaos, and you're trying to control it, and like how the storyline usually goes. But I think in that game, you got to work towards becoming Smart Hulk almost at that point.
That'd be kind of cool.
I think because I don't see it being a trilogy game. It's not so much like Spider-Man.
It just needs to be a one-off.
A one-off game with a cool story, kind of maybe 48 hours maybe of gameplay, but like there's more sciencey stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out, become an interlink Banner with Hulk because
that'd be cool.
You can't control it.
Because the PS2 game, it's more classical. It's actually kind of an open world game.
Yeah, like that Spider-Man and stuff.
Yeah, and you just cause havoc, smash. You can pick up people, flick them, and throw them, and
so that's
and there's Hulk Busters in that game that you fight.
Really?
Yeah, there's Hulk Busters. It's awesome.
I'm so glad we at least got that.
But it has the villains, of course, is just classic Abomination stuff like that. So,
do you see Red Hulk in it?
I don't know yet. I still got to go back and play it more, but because I could never get that far and. I think now when I was replaying it, it's the farthest I've ever gotten. It was hard for me as a kid. I don't know why.
There's some games that were hard for me as a kid too that I've gone back, like playing Resident Evil 1. Maybe that game now, but I'll tell you what. When I was like 8-10 years old, I couldn't beat it.
No.
I remember watching my cousin who was 14 years old couldn't beat it, but now I could probably go back and go beat it easily. Yeah. It's just a puzzle game.
But then there's some games I play from back in the day where I'm like, how the hell did I used to be able to beat this?
Yeah, which is funny. I'm not going to lie to you. I got a bone to pick with you. I'm glad we're doing it right here. I really wanted to play Shredders.
Oh, yeah.
Last night, dude.
Shredders
so Revenge. Bad. The Ninja Turtles. I wanted to play it so bad.
We'll play it.
So, and then I say we'll have another comic that we're going to read and do a review on.
We do, actually.
We got to do The Last Ronin.
This next episode of our pod coming up, we're going to have to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man 4 and Spectacular 2. And then...
I really want to do Last Ronin. I've seen so much of it.
We got to talk about that.
I really want to because I think that's very dark. That's very dark.
Let's both go back and reread it, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. I've never finished it. I've started it. Very dark. I don't even know who it is yet. I've seen the speculations and what people were saying, but it piques my interest.
It's good
just because it's so dark and it's so in the future and it's a one-off. I hope we get a movie. You know how epic of a movie that
I think they just announced that they're going to make a movie.
Really?
Rated R.
For sure.
Yeah, they said they're making a rated R TMNT Last Ronin movie.
Do we get to see what leads up to it? Kind of like a prequel.
That would be
cool.
You
get like a John Wick Ninja
Turtle. If they followed the comic, The Last Ronin, to a T, yeah, you'll get flashbacks.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
but the flashbacks will be their deaths.
That's what I'm saying. Like the leading up point. I almost think it'd be cool to do like a 2-part movie and you have it leading up to their deaths. And like you see like this hurt and then like in the start of the second movie, and then you get to understand all the grief and pain.
It's going to be
through all of it. Instead of chopping up one movie, you kind of build up and then you get to see the redemption. Like so, like that kind of almost forces people to go for movie one. It's kind of a producer strategic move.
They could
now you got to come see him be the last Ronin.
They could do something like that.
That would be cool. Be able to piece it together and take that.
It's going to be a live action rated R Last Ronin movie. They're going all out. And that actually reminds me. Remember the other day I texted you about it. It sounds like Sony's going to try to buy Paramount. Well,
about TMNT.
That's TMNT,
Nickelodeon. That's MTV.
Sonic the Hedgehog movies.
Dude, that's a power play move.
Dude, huge. I think.
Where does the money come from? Out of curiosity, everything Sony owns. I know they're a huge umbrella corporation.
Yeah, they got TVs, PlayStation. They got all kinds of tech. They got.
I understand they have all that, and it's probably being made for real
Blu-ray.
cheap overseas.
They have the patent for Blu-ray.
I think.
I believe it.
I think probably a huge part of it probably comes from the MCU. I hate to say it with Disney. I feel like they struck gold. I don't even know what the deal is. Yeah. Have they ever publicly said how much they get paid per Spider-Man?
I don't think so. I don't think they've ever released like
public.
I don't think they ever publicized like the full, sum that they've actually made, like the correct to the T dollar amount.
You just kind of get. I think we've only had like the laws and regulations and like kind of like the structure to the deal. Like they can't do this without our consent on this. Or
I think we get like just a rounding number of. Like if we look it up, how many sales did Spider-Man do? We won't get the exact number.
No. How much they did,
but it'll be close, I guess. Maybe.
It makes me wonder just because Sony has the PS5s, all that stuff, and I know they were having hard times with electronics for a while. Keep up stock, but in demand of people wanting to buy. So I can't remember what their sales did.
They're probably doing pretty good because PS4 in that last generation, that was the highest selling home console
ever,
and then PS5. Again, is beating the Xbox. That's why Xbox now it seems like they're shifting away from being the home console because now
they just want to produce games. There's other stuff being put on other platforms.
There's Xbox games made by Xbox, made by Microsoft that are on the PlayStation 5 now.
Oh yeah, and honestly, and to be honest with you, if someone is that true fan of Microsoft, they build a computer. Look at your brother. Look at Mo.
Yeah,
Mo builds his own computer. At that point, he can hook up an Xbox controller to his computer.
He can
do all of that.
You don't even use it though.
Yeah, and I think what is it? Steam? Is it
Steam? There's Steam. There's Epic Games.
Yeah, so you get games like that.
I think even Xbox has their own launcher.
So.
But you can play the Xbox games on the PC. So Bo was smart. Like, why get an Xbox? I want to build a PC. I could just
better graphics.
I could just play Xbox games on the PC.
100%.
I could just pay for Xbox Game Pass or the TV that I think your TV too. You could get Xbox Game Pass on here, and you could just stream the games on the TV.
Yeah, literally, I could hook up a remote to my TV. And
I think you could hook up the PS5 remote to the TV. I think it'll work.
Yeah.
And play an Xbox game with it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's weird.
It's just weird that I was telling Mo the other day. It's weird that we could buy an Xbox game now on the PS5, pop it on, and we'll see the Xbox logo probably on our PS5. That's just crazy.
It's gonna be, and Xbox is gonna do it. You know they're going to. They're gonna make it that way. It's gonna be rolling credits.
I like
it's gotta
it.
be the rolling credits.
I like it. I'm fine with Xbox just being a game publisher.
It's like Sega. Sega did it.
Sega did it.
2K Sports.
Yeah.
The smartest thing Sega ever did was basically not invest in the Genesis, anything. Got out of Dreamcast, focused on 2K Sports and just being one of the greatest selling basketball games of all time. And they did football for a little while, which was great. But then they started doing other games. But Sega got out. So Sega's kind of almost the originator of exiting and saying, screw it. We can have all these little, developers and video games, and we can sell our games on their platforms,
all the consoles,
and we don't have to pay for shipping from China to the U.S. and then getting it distributed to Kmart's and all that stuff at that time. You got to think that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Dreamcast was PS2.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Dreamcast came out right before PS2, and the PS2 came out shortly afterwards.
And I believe Dreamcast was actually more powerful than the PS2.
Internet browser, and then their memory card. If you remember the Dreamcast, I used to have.
I never had one.
You could take the memory card out, and then you could play it like a Nintendo Switch.
Or
like a Game Boy. Like it had Tetris and stuff like that. It had batteries in it. So, I mean, they were really ahead of their time.
That's cool. That is really cool.
They had a lot of money in research and development, and I feel like Sega probably almost went bankrupt at that time doing that because after PlayStation came out, it took off because I think Grand Theft Auto.
The PS2 is the number one selling home console ever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so it almost screwed over Nintendo. If Nintendo didn't have a cult base following with Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda, Kirby.
They're like the Disney of video games.
That's what I'm saying. So if they didn't have that cult following, I feel like they would have been pushed aside as well.
They would have.
And we would have had Mario on our PlayStation 5. Hey, think about it. We would only have to own one console.
Yeah.
We could play Mario, Smash, whatever. Like, Think about that.
I had that thought actually maybe somewhere around 10 years ago. Like, cool. You know what? Nintendo should just get out of the console market. But then as soon as I say that, a couple years later, they come out with the Nintendo Switch, which is now the number 2 greatest selling console. Yes. You know, it's like
that is revolutionary, hooking up to the TV like that, putting out the Switch at the time that they did, and competing and making it's simple.
Dude, the Nintendo Switch,
that docking system to have the Switch and everything, it was simplistic. It wasn't complicated like in years past from Nintendo, where you had the Game Boy and you had all these different connections, and it was always so complicated.
It suits both types of gamers. It suits the home gamer and the on-the-go gamer.
Exactly. So you have somebody like
me. You got both.
Yeah, you got a 6-year-old kid. Like at the time when we got our Switch, I think Dallas was like 8. Dallas would sit there, play it on the road in the car, and you get home, literally able to dock it, and he automatically took it out and put it on the TV.
Dude, that's awesome.
On the TV. Yeah, it's that simplistic. I think that's what
the Nintendo Switch. It's not going anywhere, dude. I think it's on its 8th year.
That's what I'm saying.
And dude, there's not really any sign of a Switch 2 or anything like that, really.
Oh, to be honest with you, Nintendo's opening theme parks and the research and development, it ain't going away anyway. They've been able to make enough money as a whole, as a company, have enough revenue to be able to do what they're doing. It ain't going away.
I like Nintendo. I like Nintendo a lot, actually. I feel like they actually have something special compared to Disney, compared to PlayStation,
Here's the thing, though. Here's where it goes. The Chinese are way more conservative, like with how they do things, like culturally. So you'll never get a woke Mario.
Oh, like
you'll never get a
Japanese
anything like that. Yeah. Sorry, Japanese. So that culture is more casual. Yeah, so we're never. So it's definitely it's like the Disney of video gaming, but it'll never go to the depths that Disney has gone to as of recently.
They're from what I hear, Nintendo is very peculiar about their characters.
And I'm sure they see what Disney does, and it's strategic in what they're doing.
Like, I've heard of some stories in Nintendo Ninjas. Have you ever heard those kind of stuff? Like, man, Nintendo don't mess around. Like, I guess, I don't know if I'm quoting the story right, but I guess some people made some kind of, erring on the side of pornographic type stuff with Nintendo characters.
They go after them?
Oh, yeah. They went after them.
So they found their IP address, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. And they didn't go legally. They'll get that knock at their doorstep, man, from some Nintendo ninjas.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't mess around. Or like these homebrew type of Nintendo games that people put on the internet.
Yeah.
Like they'll make their own game.
They do like a different type of Pokemon or Mario.
They don't mess around.
So what happened with Flappy Bird? You know what I'm talking about.
Flappy Bird.
It had the little green pipes, and you had to press the screen, and that little bird, and it would go through.
Dude,
tell me that's not Mario. Was that Nintendo doing a game? I've never understood that.
I don't know.
So did we never get a Flappy Bird 2 because the Nintendo ninjas showed up on someone's door?
Nintendo is all over it.
Dude, but there was big video games. You used to be able to go to bowling alleys, arcades, and literally you just had a button, and it'd be this big screen. And
it's like Mario almost.
It literally, yeah.
It's the same damn game.
Damn, so I wonder if someone created a little homebrew, and then maybe some Nintendo ninjas. Just a crazy conspiracy theory I'm coming up with on my own. They came there, stole all the proprietary information from that person, and said, "Screw it, we're going to make old school arcade games, simplistic games. We're going to put it out there, and you're screwed. You're never getting money from us."
It's crazy how both those Japanese companies, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, have such a strong partnership together because they're the exact same with their characters.
Yeah,
they don't mess around. If you try to bootleg Pokemon characters, they're all over you. Yeah. They'll send the Nintendo ninjas to you.
You know what's funny?
It's crazy.
The only people bootlegging Pokemon characters is Pokemon trying to keep recreating.
I know, right?
I'm sorry. That's a pot shot. That's a pot shot.
No, it's true. It's true.
Sorry, I used to be a Pokemon fan when I was a kid, and I only liked that first generation. And when they started introducing new, that's when I quit watching as a kid. Dude, I couldn't watch it.
Over and over and over.
I was like fourth grade. Yeah, no,
that's funny.
Dude, we have to open up those cards. Are we going to shoot a separate video for that?
Yeah, we'll shoot a separate one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to wrap up this video so that way? Because
sure.
I've been looking down at these like every couple of minutes.
We got to do an unboxing.
Yeah.
You got anything to finish off with?
No.
Nothing to add. No, me neither.
Great conversation.
Yeah.
As always.
Exactly.
No.
Shake hands.
Shake hands on that. Right. Great conversation.
All right. And we'll have another one up probably. I don't know. We'll probably do this again. I don't know.
Month.
Yeah.
If that couple weeks.
Once a month.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Minimum. It has to be
minimum. We'll figure it out. Probably the next time we'll come over for a UFC fight night or something.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
You got to come over for McGregor.
Oh, yeah. 302, 303? Something like that.
No, it's like 6. Isn't it June 29th? Or when is the McGregor fight?
I think it's the UFC 303. I think that's June.
June 26th. Or is it July 26th?
They're going to have... I don't know. It's Chandler, right? He's fighting Chandler.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a must. I'm going to have to watch it.
Well, till then.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage.